Welcome to Sujan Tales, where we uncover the darkest corners of real-life crime. Today's story takes us to late 1980s Japan, a time when fear gripped Tokyo as a series of gruesome crimes unfolded. This is the horrifying tale of Tsutomu Miyazaki, also known as the Otaku Killer. From his troubled childhood to the monstrous acts that left a nation in shock, we delve into the psyche of one of Japan's most infamous killers. Stay tuned as we uncover the twisted mind behind this chilling case. Tsutomu Miyazaki was born on August 21, 1962, in Tokyo, Japan, into a wealthy and seemingly perfect family. His father was the owner of a prominent newspaper company, and his family lived comfortably. But behind closed doors, Tsutomu's life was far from ideal. Born prematurely, Tsutomu suffered from a rare condition that left his hands deformed and fused at the wrist. This physical abnormality made him the target of relentless bullying throughout his childhood. His parents, consumed by work, showed little affection or interest in their son. Tsutomu found solace in isolation, burying himself in manga and horror films. These materials, while a temporary escape, began to influence his already fragile psyche. By the time he reached his teenage years, Tsutomu was a reclusive loner, struggling academically and socially. His growing obsession with violence and pornography hinted at the darkness that would soon consume him. In his early 20s, Tsutomu's life took a darker turn. His obsession with pornography escalated, and he began collecting grotesque and violent materials. This fixation wasn't just a hobby, it became a fuel for his fantasies. Despite graduating as a photography major, Tsutomu's professional life was aimless. He worked as a printer at his father's company, but his social isolation worsened. The mounting frustration and lack of purpose in his life seemed to push him toward a terrifying path. By the late 1980s, Tsutomu began acting on his twisted fantasies. His targets were young, innocent girls. What began as an obsession turned into an unthinkable spree of violence. On August 22, 1988, just one day after his 26th birthday, Tsutomu Miyazaki lured his first victim, 4-year-old Mari Kono, into his car. Pretending to be a kind stranger, he offered her a ride and candy, but instead of taking her home, he drove to a secluded area in the hills of Saitama Prefecture. There he committed unspeakable acts before taking her life. What followed was even more chilling. He left her body to decompose and later returned to collect her remains, keeping her bones as a twisted souvenir. Over the next few months, Tsutomu Miyazaki killed 3 more young girls: 7-year-old Masami Yoshizawa, 4-year-old Erika Namba, and 5-year-old Aya Nomoto. Each crime followed a similar pattern. Tsutomu would lure the girls, often under the pretense of kindness, and commit brutal acts. He took disturbing photographs of his victims and kept pieces of their clothing or bones as trophies. His obsession with power and control reached a horrifying peak with his final victim, Aya Nomoto. After killing her, he brought her body home, where he mutilated it, took photos, and even consumed parts of her remains. Weren't horrifying enough, Tsutomu began taunting the victims' families. He sent letters to Mari Kono's parents, written in childish scrawls, describing her final moments. In one letter, he included ashes and fragments of her bones. The public was outraged. Fear spread like wildfire, and Tokyo residents were terrified to let their children out of their sight. Tsutomu Miyazaki's reign of terror finally came to an end on July 23, 1989. A father caught him attempting to lure another young girl and alerted the police. When authorities searched his home, they discovered an unimaginable horror: a collection of over 5,000 violent videos, along with photographs and remains of his victims. It was undeniable. Tsutomu Miyazaki was the Otaku Killer. Trial and execution. During his trial, Tsutomu showed no remorse. He claimed that his alter ego, a rat man, was responsible for the killings. His disturbing behavior in court only solidified his reputation as a monster. In 1997, Tsutomu Miyazaki was sentenced to death by hanging, a decision upheld despite his lawyer's attempts to argue insanity. On June 17, 2008, he was executed, bringing a chilling end to one of Japan's darkest chapters, Aftermath and Legacy. The case of Tsutomu Miyazaki left an indelible mark on Japan. It sparked widespread debates about mental health, the influence of violent media, and the dangers of unchecked isolation. For the families of the victims, no punishment could ever undo the pain caused by his actions. Their stories serve as a haunting reminder of the fragility of life and the darkness that can hide behind even the most unassuming faces. This has been the story of Tsutomu Miyazaki, the Otaku killer, a man whose inner demons turned him into a predator, leaving a nation forever scarred. If you found this story thought-provoking and chilling, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Sujan Tales for more true crime stories from around the world. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and always be vigilant.